Hello, everybody. My name's Aiden,
Hey, I'm Joseph.
and today we're going to be discussing the theme in two 20th century American literary works. We are going to be discussing Judge Danforth, and we are going to be exploring the theme of archaic traditions by comparing Judge Danforth in The Crucible and
Old Man Warner in the lottery. Now let's delve into our specific stories and their plots. The Lottery is a little short novel, little short tale written by Shirley Jackson, which details the life of a village in, I'd say, the late 40s, early 50s, that has a sort of lottery every year between all the families, and then all the individual persons in the specific family chosen to see who gets violently stoned to death. In this, Old Man Warner is the oldest person in the village, and he's all for this lottery, and he's also very critical of the young folks of the story. He uses quotes like this: "Old man, pack of crazy fools. Listening to the young folks, nothing's good enough for them. Next thing you'll know, they'll be wanting to go back to living in caves. Nobody work anymore. Live that way for a while. Used to be a saying about lottery in June, corn be heavy soon. First thing you know, we'd all be eating stewed chickweed and acorns. There's always been a lottery. Yeah, bad enough to see young Joe Summers up there joking with everybody. Nothing but trouble in that," Old Man Warner says stoutly. "Pack of young fools." He also has said some things such as it's been his 77th year in the lottery. And some other thing, he also makes some comments about how people are different and how things have changed. And it's a very interesting but very stubborn viewpoint.
Judge Danforth within The Crucible supports the theme of tradition. Now, it can be one of the ways we know Arthur Miller feels about tradition is negatively, because in his own life he was attacked by anti-communists, accused to be a communist, and tried in front of a congressional committee because of the anti-communist tradition of the United States. Ultimately, this has made him skeptical towards that, and that reflects in The Crucible. In The Crucible, Judge Danforth was operating the witch trials as per the accusations of Abigail against various people, all of which are basically going to be sentenced to death for being witches. Judge Danforth says, "No uncorrupted man may fear this court, Mr. Hale." And before that, he said, "Reproach me not with fear in the country. There is fear in the country because there is a moving plot to topple Christ in the country." That reflects the tradition of religion and religious philosophies influencing the court decisions, which add a certain amount of bias, which allows the witch trials to pass through, leading to various people's executions, which is the criticism, which is how this specific story criticizes tradition.
Based off how the plot of Shirley Jackson's Lottery goes, it seems like she's basing the story and this idea of a lottery off of the military draft, because it's basically a sort of drawing for something that's seen to be as for tradition, but it's also gonna most likely lead to your death. But in this case, it's 100%. And that makes the reader infer that she views the draft as something that's going to kill people and something that's not necessarily a good thing.
Overall, though, she similarly implements the theory of tradition because Old Man Warner still pushes for the continuation of that tradition, and along with Judge Danforth, upholding the tradition of religion within his society. So, despite differences in interpretation between the two stories, the two characters uphold a very similar theme, creating an incredibly similar message that archaic traditions are not necessarily beneficial.
Overall, I would say that both stories are very similar. They just take things in a different direction. Is there anything you have to say?
Absolutely not.
All right, we are done. See you guys another day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.